Would you eat industrial oils? How long have they been around? Hi, I'm Tom, and this is my carnivore journey. So, the more you research our food supply system, the scarier it becomes, I guess. Um, Vegetable oils have been around for several thousand years in some form or another, but they really didn't enter the food supply until the mid 1800s when they figured out how to make it safe for consumption. And then it really took off in about 1911 when Procter and Gamble figured out how to hydrogenate it in the form of Crisco. Um, a lot of the vegetable oils that are on the market today are actually used for things like paints, polymers for rubbers, cosmetics, and it's just a laundry list of products that use these vegetable oils as their base. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not really fond of eating ingredients from rubber or cosmetics or paints. And some of the more prominent vegetable oils that are used in these products are things like linseed oil, tung oil, walnut oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. These are all products that are refined, bleached, hydrogenated, deodorized, you name it. If your oil has to go through that much processing just to make it edible, I have to question whether that's a healthy option or not. When you take a plant and put it through a process that isn't natural, there has to be some sort of reaction that our body's going to have to it, especially since we haven't consumed these in great quantities in the entire span of our species history. Traditionally, we've used saturated animal fats, not seed oils. Seed oils were generally used for things like oil lamps and lubrication, not for cooking your food. So when you hear all these commercials and all these studies that come out and say, oh, they're heart healthy, they're this, they're that, I don't buy into it. I did a very short stint for about 2 months where I tried the low fat, and I just never really liked margarine or vegetable oils at all. So that was one of the reasons why I quit doing it, but primarily because I was always hungry. When you're eating a proper diet, you shouldn't be hungry all the time. The food you eat should satiate you for extended amounts of time. But this notion that these highly processed industrialized oils are food stuffs is just ridiculous. And I'm kind of waiting for scientists and nutritionists to really sit down and do a true randomized controlled study of saturated fats versus vegetable oils and give us the true data, because I don't think that's what they're doing. I think a lot of these studies are biased. There are people who do these studies and compile the data that have a preconceived notion based on their own thoughts and belief systems. And when it comes to the nation's health, you really can't do that. You have to have unbiased. The data has to be what the data is. You shouldn't be able to manipulate it to fit your point of view. That's one reason why I hate anything that has to do with epidemiological studies, because those are studies that are not randomized controlled studies. These are studies that are correlation based. They give these people papers to fill out on what they've eaten and then look at their health outcomes over a period of 4 or 5 years. And these questionnaires are only given to them once every 4 years. You really going to tell me you know how much butter or how much vegetable oil you've used over a 4-year span? not unless you're keeping a diary every single time you eat and record every ingredient you use when you're cooking your food. We don't know what different foods are going to do to us because there are no randomized controlled studies that will give us the data to show exactly what these things are doing to us. You have environmental issues. I've talked about this before. You know, do people that are on these trials, do they smoke? Do they drink? You know, do they exercise? Do they consume supplements? Do they believe everything that they've read and they run out and buy the next bottle of the, here's the quick fix for you? These things aren't included in these studies. So you can't put out headlines that say, oh, vegetable oils will lower your chances of cancer or heart disease, when you don't really know. And that's where I have a real big problem with these studies that come out and these sensationalized headlines that try and push a biased belief system onto the general populace. So if you think that you're eating a healthy diet because you've eliminated saturated fats and are using these industrial oils, you need to really rethink things. You need to do some searching and some studying to see what these actual oils are and what they're used for. These are not oils that were ever intended for us to be eating. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you some information, some food for thought. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you like my content, subscribe to my channel. I'll get more stuff out to you. I hope you have a great day.